On an ordinary night at Georgetown University, a freshman debate was supposed to be nothing more than an academic exercise. But what unfolded inside that packed hall became one of the most viral political confrontations of the decade. An 18-year-old Barron Trump, tall, confident, and seen as the future of his family's dynasty, squared off against Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, a rising progressive firebrand. By the end of the night, Trump's polished image lay in ruins. Crockett's star was blazing brighter than ever, and millions of Americans were left asking the same question: who's really fit to lead in the age of political theater? The debate hall at Georgetown University pulsed with tension as every seat was filled and students lined the aisles, clutching notebooks and phones, ready to witness what felt less like a forum and more like a historic clash. Billed as a discussion on youth in politics, the event carried a different weight altogether. Rumors swirled that Barron Trump, the 18-year-old youngest son of the former president, would be making his unofficial political debut. Towering at 6 feet 7 inches in a tailored navy blazer, Barron looked more like a young senator than a college freshman, his presence alone commanding attention as whispers of his charisma, sharp memory, and composure painted him as a prodigy destined to inherit a dynasty. Across from him sat Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, sharp, eloquent, and fearless, a fighter whose authenticity and reputation for speaking truth to power had already made her a force to be reckoned with. For the audience, the stakes were immense. For Barron, it was about proving he was more than just a name. For Crockett, it was about showing that integrity still had a place in politics. And as the cameras flashed, the air grew thick and electric, the mystery surrounding Barron's true beliefs colliding with the certainty of Crockett's record. When he adjusted the microphone, offering a polite nod to the moderator, it became clear that Barron Trump wasn't here to play defense, he was here to attack. If Barron Trump carried the weight of legacy, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett carried the fire of lived experience. At 43, she had walked a very different path to the stage. Born and raised in St. Louis, she knew the struggles of working-class America firsthand. Before Congress, she was a civil rights attorney, standing in cramped courtrooms to defend those with no voice against a system stacked against them. Her rise wasn't powered by family connections. It was earned, brick by brick. By the time she claimed a seat in the House representing Texas's 30th district, she had already built a reputation as a fearless advocate for criminal justice reform and equality, quickly showing Washington she wasn't the type to shrink in the face of confrontation. In hearings, her sharp questioning and no-nonsense tone made her a viral sensation, clips of her dismantling hypocrisy spreading across social media. Supporters saw a warrior unafraid to expose the games of politics. Critics called her theatrical, but even they admitted she had a rare ability to cut to the truth. Now, seated across from Barron Trump in Georgetown's Grand Debate Hall, the contrast couldn't have been sharper. The dynastic heir versus the self-made fighter, privilege versus grit, inherited power versus earned influence. Crockett knew the stakes. This wasn't just about youth engagement. It was about proving that authenticity could rival legacy. As the lights dimmed and the students leaned forward, the moderator, Dr. Martinez, posed the first question. Both of you represent, in very different ways, the future of American politics. What does authentic leadership mean to you, and why should young people trust your vision? Barron answered first, leaning in with polished poise, his words about tradition, strength, and family legacy steady, rehearsed, and effective. The audience clapped politely, though the energy remained restrained. Then it was Crockett's turn. She waited a beat, drawing the room in, before beginning. Authentic leadership isn't about inheriting a last name. It's about carrying the voices of the people who put you in that seat, whether they are factory workers, teachers, or single moms struggling to keep the lights on. Her words landed differently, less polished, but raw, true. She spoke of her years as a civil rights attorney, of representing those ignored by the system, admitting politics wasn't perfect but insisting leaders had a duty to serve with honesty, not theater. By the time she finished, the applause was no longer polite but warm, genuine, resonant. Students exchanged looks. The contrast was unmistakable. The stage wasn't just set. The sparks were already flying. The polite tone of opening statements didn't last long. Barron Trump, eager to seize control, leaned forward with the sharpness of a seasoned debater. Congresswoman Crockett talks about authenticity, he sneered. But her record in Washington shows the opposite. High talk, low results. She's unfit to claim the mantle of leadership, and the voters know it. The room stiffened, whispers darting through the aisles. Crockett, unfazed, let the insult hang before replying with calm precision. Unfit? Let's talk about unfit. Because leadership isn't about memorizing talking points. It's about showing up, day after day, to fight for the people who trusted you with their voices. That's what I do in Congress. And that's what I've been doing long before you stepped on this stage. Her words hit like a velvet-wrapped hammer, devastating in their restraint. Barron countered with statistics and criticisms, but his delivery felt scripted, entitlement versus lived truth. For the first time, his composure wavered, irritation flickering as Crockett sat back, unshaken. The audience felt it too. Power was shifting. Then came the moment that shattered the debate. Crockett leaned forward, her voice sharp as glass. You keep calling me unfit, Mr. Trump. But who's really unfit here? The congresswoman fighting for her constituents, or the young man who admits he doesn't even believe in the positions he preaches? Confusion rippled through the hall. Barron bristled. I never said that. Crockett signaled the moderator. The speakers filled with Barron's own voice from a secret recording. Asterisk, of course I don't really believe half of this stuff. But it works. People eat it up. Politics is theater, and I'm just playing the part. Asterisk silence gripped the room as the words echoed. Barron's face drained, his persona unraveling before hundreds of stunned eyes. Crockett delivered the final blow. This isn't about me anymore. It's about honesty. About whether we want leaders who believe in service, or performers who treat voters like marks to be conned. You want to talk about unfitness? Let's talk about that. The hall erupted in thunderous cheers. Students leapt to their feet, phones in the air, capturing the air of a dynasty undone by his own voice. In that instant, the debate wasn't about policy or personality. It was about truth versus performance. And Jasmine Crockett had just turned the stage upside down. The instant Crockett's words faded and the recording stopped, Georgetown's debate hall transformed from an academic forum into a storm. Students leapt to their feet, some cheering, others gasping, their phones already raised as Barron Trump's stunned expression spread across the internet in real time. Oh my God, she just ended him. One voice cried. He admitted it. He actually admitted it. Another shouted. The quiet murmur of a campus crowd became a roar, less an audience than a chorus of disbelief and recognition. On stage, Barron sat frozen, his polished composure gone, jaw-tightened fingers fumbling with his notes as fragments of protest. That's not. I didn't mean. Died under the weight of his own voice echoing minutes earlier. Crockett, by contrast, stayed still, calm, almost serene, letting silence and restraint sharpen the impact of truth. The moderator's attempts at control, ladies and gentlemen, please, dissolved against the chaos. Reporters surged forward, students pressed closer, and the room thundered not with applause but with a collective realization that they had just witnessed a political mask shatter in real time. By the time Barron slipped out a side exit with his security detail, the internet had already crowned its victor. #Barron Exposed was trending within minutes. TikToks replayed his unraveling in looped edits, and Twitter split into warring camps. Conservatives cried foul. Crockett ambushed him with a dirty trick. While loyalists posted in disbelief. We thought he was the future. Turns out he was just another opportunist. Liberal voices, meanwhile, celebrated as though it were a championship win. Jasmine Crockett just gave a masterclass in political takedowns. Memes flooded Instagram and Reddit. Barron's pale face captioned with when the mask slips politics isn't theater, oh wait. Late-night hosts piled on, YouTube reaction videos dissected every second, and headlines screamed, Georgetown debate meltdown, Crockett exposes Barron Trump in 4K. What began as a student forum had erupted into a national spectacle. For Barron Trump, it was the collapse of an image carefully crafted for the public eye. For Jasmine Crockett, it was more than a debate win. It was the moment authenticity broke through the noise, crystallizing into a movement. By dawn the next morning, the Georgetown debate was no longer a campus memory. It was the lead story across America. CNN opened its broadcast with a looping replay of Barron Trump's unraveling, the chyron blaring, Georgetown debate shocker, Barron Trump caught on tape. Analysts broke down every frame. His faltering body language, Crockett's calm precision, the devastating timing of the recording. This wasn't just a debate win, one commentator said. This was a surgical dismantling of a political persona. MSNBC leaned in harder, framing the clip as proof of what young voters craved, authenticity over theatrics, and suggesting Crockett's performance had vaulted her onto the national stage. Fox News, usually quick to defend any Trump, tread carefully, condemning ambush tactics while sidestepping full-throated defense of Barron. Even conservative pundits admitted the tape was deeply damaging. Newspapers splashed it across their front pages. Asterisk debate recording stuns Georgetown. Barron Trump exposed asterisk, The Washington Post, asterisk performance versus principle. A clash that went viral asterisk, The New York Times, asterisk Crockett crushes Trump heir in debate meltdown asterisk, The Guardian. Reporters swarmed Georgetown's campus, interviewing students who compared the moment to watching a political career collapse in real time. Meanwhile, Crockett stepped onto the morning show circuit with poise, insisting the moment was bigger than her. This isn't about embarrassing a young man, she told viewers. It's about showing voters the difference between performance and principle. We deserve leaders who actually believe in what they fight for. Her words reframed the story, elevating it from a viral gotcha to a broader national narrative. Authenticity had beaten theatrics, and America had taken notice. The reverberations didn't fade, they reshaped futures. For Barron Trump, the fallout was swift and brutal. His loyal campus following dissolved almost overnight. The Young Republicans Club he'd built bled members until it folded. A lecture series he planned was cancelled for lack of interest. Professors once impressed by his poise now questioned his integrity. It's not about politics, one said. It's about honesty. Without that, everything else crumbles. Within 6 months, Barron had vanished from public view, his aura of inevitability gone. Years later, in a rare interview, he admitted, it was a wake-up call. If you want to serve the public, your private beliefs have to match your public words. Eventually, the truth comes out. Whether it was growth or another pose remained unclear. What was certain was that the aura of invincibility around the Trump name had been cracked by the dynasty's youngest heir, undone by his own voice. For Jasmine Crockett, the path shot upward. Donations to her campaign skyrocketed, her social media presence exploded, and within a year she was openly discussed as a Senate contender. Her debate performance became required viewing in political science courses, studied as a textbook example of how authenticity could dismantle cynicism. More than politics, though, it left a cultural lesson for a generation. That truth mattered more than polish, that conviction could outshine dynasty, and that theater in politics could not withstand the weight of its own script. The Georgetown clash was remembered not just as a viral spectacle but as a turning point. The night authenticity went viral.